Hello everyone, we've got a Theros draft today, and so here we have quite the pack actually. Not that it's super deep or anything, but we have Spear of Heliod, which I've never actually played with, but I've had my opponents play against me, and seems pretty insane. The fact that you get these crazy buffs and they can't attack you back, obviously that's very good. And then there's a card I've played quite a bit with, Nemesis Immortals, which also is obviously ridiculous, but it's kind of just a big dude. Um, there is one other card in this pack which is pretty good, but it's Flamespeaker Adept. Really only great in the blue-red deck, but I don't really think that's much of a deck anyways, because it's trying to be like a tempo deck, and you have to play kind of cards like Vaporkin, which aren't great. Your multicolor card that you get in that color combination, Spellhide Chimera right here, is also not that great. So I don't think that's the best. We're definitely going to take Spear here, though, and see where that takes us. Alright, so this pack here, we have, I guess, a few options. I don't actually end up drafting the white heroic decks very much, because I feel like they're usually not very open. But this is a good sign. We have definitely some options. So favorite hoplite obviously is going to go well with Spear of Heliod. I know people really like the Ordeals, Coordinated Assault. I think the uncommons are really our only choices here. But we already have something to pump our team, so I think we just want guys. And so I think Favorite Hoplite is going to be the best pick for us. I think we need to pick the heroic guys before enablers if we already have something to benefit the fact that we have all these creatures. I also wouldn't mind just taking Griptide. I think it's probably the best card here. But I want our rare to work, so we're going to make that happen. Okay, so this pack here is kind of bad. We really don't have that much going on. I think Leon and Snarecaster is alright. A Crow and Hoplite probably better, but it's also a second color, so I'm not in love with taking this here, even though it's probably better than Snarecaster. But, and I don't think Laguna Banador is excellent here either. I think white-black is the worst white combination, even though Sip of Hemlock is probably the best card. But then there's Feral Invocation, which is a good combat trick, and I really think it's between these two. But I'm going to keep staying open. I'm going to take the Snarecaster here. I'm not very excited about it. But I'm going to keep my eye on green. It looks like maybe green or black are open, although I prefer not to be white-black, just because the costs are awkward, and the spells don't really mesh that well in those color combinations. Alright, so this is kind of why I wanted to stay open, because if we look here, if we had taken the Feral Invocation, there's really no green cards here, and there's an Arena Athlete. This card's pretty darn good. There's an Ill-Tempered Cyclops, which is probably the second best red common, just after Lightning Strike. We're very aggressive, so the Athlete's going to be better in our deck, and we can start to pick up these heroic enablers, like Ordeals, like Chosen by Heliods, which we can hopefully get, and there's really not a whole lot else here for us other than like a Read the Bones, and again, we really don't want Read the Bones here. This is better in like a mid-range or control deck. I mean, it can work in an aggro deck, but just not white-black. Black-red, it would be fine there as well. So we're going to go with the Arena Athlete. This pack here, we definitely have a ton of options, and our red cards here are awful. So I think there's really only two options, actually. I guess a third if you call this Rage or Porphyros as a pick here. I don't really want to take this. It's just not very impactful. So forcing red here seems a little bit weak when we have two strong cards in other colors. And here, I think between Triton Fortune Hunter and Chronicler of Heroes, I think the right pick is Chronicler of Heroes only because I think we've seen more green than blue. So it feels like it's more open. Although I'd rather have a Triton Fortune Hunter just on a card-by-card evaluation. But this card can be very strong if you have the enablers, so we're going to take him. And speaking of enablers, there's definitely, you know, great green and white cards here for us. Hopeful Eidolon or Ordeal. I think it's pretty close right here. The Ordeal we can just slap onto a small creature. It also is really good with Chronicler Hero, so it just kind of works better with the deck right now. Although I think these are almost comparable in power level, especially in green-white. You want, you know, little mini Baneslayer Angel right here. Just makes your guys huge. I'm going to try to take the Ordeal here. I don't actually know if that's right. But it feels like it just meshes better. If we already have a 1-drop, we already have Chronicler, so it just kind of makes more sense in the deck. And hopefully we'll see a Hopeful Eidolon at some point later in the draft. Here we have, I think we just want the smaller creature, Nesting Courser. Although we could take Savage Surge. I think there's so many tricks though that it makes more sense to just take the solid creature and pick up some tricks later. I'm going to hide the Athlete. I don't really think we're going to be white-red. I think white-green clearly is pretty open. And here we get our combat trick that we were just talking about, Feral Invocation. Probably the best. Definitely common combat trick. So we're happy about that for sure. And in this pack, as I was saying, this card's not great. So come back. Let's see here. I think we'll just hate the Spark Jolt in case we have little guys. Wow. I would not expect these cards to be here. I mean, I could take Fade to Antiquity. I really don't want to play it, though. It's not an instant speed trick. It can't really mess with it or bestow at instant speed. I think I'm going to just take the Coordinate Assault. There's an off chance we play it, and I'd rather not play against it. So that is our choice. I don't think Vanquish the Vow is very playable in this type of deck. It costs so much, and we really don't want to be there. And I think this card's actually kind of underrated. It's totally fine, and it can tap down guys, get our guys through, so I'll be happy playing one of this card. And here's that Chosen by Heliod we definitely want. And take the 2-drop. So this is not a bad start. We obviously need a lot more, you know, hero-up creatures. I'd look for some more Ordeals. But green-white can be a very strong deck, and so we're positioning ourselves nicely for that. Things we would want to open, more Hoplites, Phalanx Leaders, things like that, of which there are 0 here. Pack is not great though, so I mean, it's not like we open up crazy things and don't get to take them. I think God's Willing is a really important piece once you start making, you know, your giant creature. So I actually really don't mind first picking it here. This is not a Voyaging Satyr deck, so even though we're green, even though it's technically like the best green common, it really just doesn't go in the green-white deck because you're little guys with Heroic. So it makes much more sense to take God's Willing, and it'd actually rather have like God's Willing and a Vulpine Goliath than a God's Willing and a Voyaging Satyr if, you know, something tabled, although I don't know how this card would table, but just kind of putting that out there. Alright, so we have God's Willing. Speaking of Phalanx Leaders, this is exactly what we want, which is fantastic. Here's probably my favorite, might be my favorite card in the set just because it's so sweet. Drawing cards, killing them, good times. But obviously we're not going to take that here. Of note here, we keep passing Sked Scorpions, so those are going to be kind of annoying, but we will survive. And then, wow, this is awesome. So, Observant Allseed, while great, Heliod's Emissary is just basically an even better version and totally insane just as a creature, and the bestows, basically just a bonus on these emissaries. It's always nice when you can bestow it, but they're all pretty much insane as 4-drop creatures, so that's usually the mode they are put in. Even like the green one, although the green one is much more bestowable, I would say, giving trample for 6. But you could play him as a 4-drop, 3/3 trample, the green guy, and then just kind of throw stuff on him until they die. So that I've had, you know, some pretty good success with that as of late. Let's see. So we talked about, you know, hopefully getting some more ordeals. Here is an ordeal right here, and just goes with this God's Willing, and then hopefully we can see a couple more 1-drops. But if we get enough ordeals, we might play things like Yoke Doxes and all sorts of kind of garbage cards just to have that 1-drop and get them in there. And also another reason we want to see some Hopeful Eidolons, because it's a great 1-drop that can also serve as your Heroic Crumper guy. here we have, I'd rather take the solid card than the sideboard card here. We also saw a Hunt the Hunter earlier, so that might table, although that might have been the last pack. I might be mixing it up. So here, Chosen by Heliod, going to be in our deck for sure, so I don't want the sideboard card here. In this pack, looks like we're not getting a whole lot. That's alright. I think if we look here, there's only actually 4 green cards, and we already have an Arena Athlete that I'd hid, but it makes sense to just take it here because we already have all these enablers, so there's a small chance we end up in red-white, not green-white, even though green looks like it's going to flow better in pack 3 because it was more open in pack 1. And then we immediately get another green-white card, so maybe that pack was just stacked. In this one, really nothing we want. I could take a Portent Betrayal if we end up red, white, or an Omen Speaker that I don't want to play against. I'm going to take the card that we might play, just because if we do switch to red-white, we're not going to have enough playables because we're wasting them on all these green cards otherwise. So it'd be nice to just make sure I don't have to play complete junk. I think this is actually pretty close. All 3 of these are defensible picks. Ray less so because it's more reactive and we want to be more aggressive in this deck. Warrior's Lesson is another good one. Just kind of throw down if you have a lot of heroic guys, or Yoke Docs when we have Ordeals. We do have 2 Ordeals. I think I want 3 before I'm going to play Yoke Docs, although it's an option. I'm going to take the Warrior's Lesson. We really do want to prioritize basically anything that says heroic in pack 3. Just a fine guy. We might play this. And I think I'd rather have a random guy over a fade, even here, because we have the Spirit of Heliod. We just want things to throw things on, and the 3 life actually is going to come up pretty frequently when we have all these Ordeals and Chosen by Heliods. We'll take another Forest Warden. I don't really want to play 2, but if we have to, we will. And take a random 2/4. There's that Hunt the Hunter, so we got a good sideboard card anyways. And so this is really shaping up. We need probably just, 2 to 3 more really good heroic enablers. I'd love to get some of the big green guys, like the 4-mana 2/2 that gets 2 counters, or the 5-mana 3/3 that gets 3 counters. Those would be fantastic for our deck. Instead, we are just really good at this game. Cannot open a good card. So here, I mean, there's really, this is just sad. I'm not sure actually what we want to do here. Really just no green-white cards for us. And we really can't beat blue with Prognostic Sphinx. But I really don't think we're going to see that much red. I mean, there was some red in pack 1, but I really don't want to switch all of a sudden when we have a pretty darn good setup. I might just want to take a Voyaging Satyr. It's like fine in the deck. It can power out a Heliod's Emissary quickly. It can power out these guys. It's not the best card for the deck, but I don't want to first pick a Cavalry Pegasus. And I don't really think Anvil Raptor is that great, although he's pretty good, kind of good with Ordeals. Yeah, I guess we can just play a Voyaging Satyr and put an Ordeal on it and go to town, or power out a quick Emissary or something like that. So I'll take this. I'm not happy about it. So I was very excited about seeing this Ordeal, but we have, the best card for this deck, which is the Wingsteed Rider. We're talking about good heroic creatures. Well, this is our guy. So, boom. Not even really close. Okay, so here we have our little mini Baneslayer Angel. So that's fantastic. And really nothing even else for us, so not a very tough pick. Psychic Intrusion. This card looks pretty weak, because it's 5 mana and doesn't actually do anything right away. But if you think about it, 5 mana is right around the point where someone's going to play their big bomb. So you get to take their best bomb, and then you get to play it, which is obviously incredibly powerful. And if you top deck it late in the game, you at least get to use it in their graveyard. So this card actually is a lot better than it looks. And actually, I would be very, very happy starting a draft with this, and it's one of kind of the few reasons to be multicolor, and it's specifically blue-black. So in a different draft, you know, be on the lookout for this guy. Much better than it looks. And then here, ooh, I don't actually know which of these is better. I've never really had this choice. So in our deck, would we rather give +2/+2 Vigilance or +1/+1 and Lifelink? Well, the thing is, our creatures are not enormous. And if they were enormous, I think I'd rather have Lifelink. But this makes them more enormous because it's +2/+2, not +1/+1. So I think I'd rather just vary the threats here, and this is obviously just a better creature. Although we do have 2 Ordeals, I could just play a Hopeful Eidolon on 1. Yeah, I think that pushes this over the top. Honestly, I think this is the better card overall, but the fact that we can play this as a 1-drop and attack on turn 2 pushes it for Hopeful Eidolon to me. So we're actually going to go this way. This pack here, nothing really exciting at all. I think I'd rather have the strong sideboard card than anything here, because we really only need 1 more playable to hit 23. So I'll take the Glare. And then we got this guy anyways, which is awesome. In this pack, really doesn't look like anything for us, but do I want anything here? Not really. Satyr Piper is not very good. So, what do I want to take away? Probably just hate this Viper's Kiss. It's going to be annoying. And then in this one, this is a mediocre sideboard card. Just in case they have a lot of ground pounders, you have something to go over the top. Okay, so both cards I was kind of thinking about first picking are here. Do I want a stronger late game, just kind of close it out with this Tessin Griffin, or do I need this Cavalry Pegasus to give our guys flying? We really don't actually have that many humans, so I think that makes it pretty easy. We'll take the Griffin. Here, we're going to play, what, 1 Warden, 1 Glare, so that's at 23. Chances are nothing here makes it. And so because nothing makes it, I'm just going to take the sideboard hate here against our deck. There's another Griffin. We might play that, might not. I mean, it's pretty good in white-green. Just kind of go over the top. If they stop our first army, then we have something that we can attack back with. We can hide this. I think we can hide Warrior's Lesson. If you have a lot of heroic guys, it's very good. But we don't. So I think it's fine. I think we have enough enablers as it stands that we don't need it. And then we can hide probably 1 Warden, and that looks like it's going to be 23. We'll be there in a second. I'll take a random card from my collection. And I actually don't think I've ever drafted this deck, so it seems pretty cool. Drafted for the first time here. And definitely seems like it was the place to be in this particular draft. We got some nice late signals. It was interesting with the red and white dilemma. It's like, should we go into red yet? Should we not? But I think we were flexible enough to position ourselves that if red really started flowing, we could jump in. And so I was pretty happy with the way we drafted it. So if you don't think so, respond in the YouTube comments. Alright, so that was the draft portion. We'll quickly build here. We just got to think really mostly just about our mana base. Everything else is pretty much locked in. So here, Ordeal, Invocation. The Voyaging Satyr did get slightly better since we're going to play these Griffins. So that is something to note. And let's check out what we have. So here, I think that's our 23. If we curve sort, we've got 3 1-drops to put an Ordeal on, which is good. We've got, you know, the few heroic guys, which can be useful. And then we're going to have to eke out advantages if we want to draw a card with this. Not super likely in the deck, but that's not really... I mean, this guy's just another Nessian Courser, and Nessian Courser is really good. And we have a ton of guys for Spear, so this looks super solid. I think in terms of mana, do a 10-7 or do I 9-8? I think since I have Phalanx Leader, this looks like a 10-7 deck. I don't want 11-6 because I really just want to be able to play Ordeal on turn 2, and my green cards are very aggressive, so I need green early. So that's going to be the case. So this is 13-4. I don't think I want to do that. Okay, so 10-7. This is what I'm going to submit, and see you guys soon in the... Alright, so here we are in round 1. We lost the die roll, but our hand seems pretty awesome, so we'll keep. Always nice to say hello. And our turn 1. So play guy, and ship it back. And our guy dies. That is unfortunate. Let's see, no reason to play the forest. So already, oh, our opponent missed his land. That's really not bad for us. Any reason to play the forest? I don't think so. Let's play this guy. Let's see. Alright. Pretty happy to just, I think, play the Hopeful Eidolon. And just attack and gain some life. Seems better than flashing in anything else. We could have saved the Hopeful Eidolon for the Setessan Griffin. I don't really think that's worth the time to set that up, though. And this also is a stronger play in case this dies. Because then we still have a Griffin. Kind of sucks if the Griffin dies. Oh, that sucks. The card is a beating. Alright, so now we just play our forest. Let's see. Yeah, I'd probably just attack, I think. If he has Boon of Erebos, he can just blow us out anyways with his Death Toucher. Alright, now it gets interesting, because I think what we want to do is play Chosen by Heliod. Because I don't think he has Boon of Erebos, I think he would have played it. And then just play our guy so we have something to sacrifice in case he wants to agent. Although there is... no, there's really... Okay. That really doesn't matter. Hopefully it attacks with everything. That'd be awesome. Alright, well that's fantastic for us. We can't block. If we draw a land, which we did, we can play Spear and hold up the activation, but then also have Feral Invocation for our guy when he double blocks here, which is just fantastic. And so he's probably not going to be too happy with this here, but that's okay. He's our opponent. Alright, I would say this is going well. So now we'd actually, I think, sacrifice this. It gives us, okay, two things. It didn't matter in the end. So we don't know what the second color is, so we can't really bring in our sideboard cards. And everything worked out pretty well there. So I guess we'll just keep. There's nothing else I really want in our limited sideboard. To note, it looks like this card's going to be very good against him. I don't think I want the second, though. So let's see how this one goes. That sucks. This is definitely, if I keep this hand, it's incredibly risky. And I have 10 planes, so we have just like a 50 to 60% chance of just losing the game. Seems pretty bad. I should just mull. His hand is obviously much better. Ooh, that's exciting. I'm just going to run our guy out there. He's probably going to die, but these things happen. Yep. Hopefully draw a creature. Oh, awesome. So I'm going to play the Hoplite. And I'm just going to put Ordeal on it right now. That way, next turn we play Chronicler. This guy just keeps missing land drops. So let's attack. I don't think there's any reason not to attack first. And then next turn we can mana ramp, which will be sweet. Oh, that was insane for our mana ramp. So that was a match, apparently. So there we have it. I'll see you guys for round 2. Alright, so here, round 2, win the die roll. And this hand seems fine. We just have to draw a land by turn 3. So off to the races, as I say. Island's probably the worst color for us to face, only because we're kind of going all in on these creatures and then just bounce them now. With God's Willing, obviously, that's less true. Could also have Lightning Strike. Could basically just have anything here. We didn't get our hopes stymied, so that card's kind of an embarrassment anyways, stymied hopes, but it can get you. I've been gone. Alright, some guy. Really awkward that you can't play that. So, we're going to have to wait a while for that to happen, but it's okay. I think this is an interesting decision point, because here, if I play the Chronicler, he can bash the Crackling Triton. If I play the Elder, he can actually just kill it. So, even though we're not going to draw a card, I think that's okay, because I don't think we're going to draw a card for quite some time. So I'd rather just have a 3/3 in play. And there's small upside to this being able to trigger off like a Heliod's Emissary later. That is nasty. Well, what we can do is smash with 1. And then, so I guess smash with this guy in case this gets bounced or something. And now, I think we're just chosen by Heliod, this guy. If he tries to pull any funny business, we've got the God's Willing. And so that could be pretty good. Like if he tries to Grip Tide or something. Maybe he'll sack this and Lightning Strike our guy. That would be pretty good. I would not be opposed to it. Rage or Porphyros? What do we want to do here? I kind of want to protect our guy because I just want to hit a land drop, honestly. And we have a lot of pressure in play. We're not really going to have that many chances to have God's Willing up. That's fine. So what do we do this turn? I kind of like, again, attack for 3, plays Heliod's Emissary Pass. Seems like the best play. Yeah. So if I attack with both and play Heliod's Emissary, then he can attack us here, which would kind of suck. So, and next turn we can attack with a ton of things, which is awesome. In fact, next turn... Okay, he's just going to trade. Interesting. Well, I don't think that really changes our play. I think we still just want to play this. It's kind of annoying as this Triton, because we can't play Phalanx Leader. Unless we want to play Phalanx Leader or Deal just to pump our team, but he still gets to kill our Phalanx Leader. Although, honestly, that's probably worth it on the last couple turns. If we just use these as a... just pump the whole team, just use this like a Spear of Heliod for the turn. It's probably good enough. There's a small... we might end up needing to use Ordeal on another creature just to bash through those, so I don't know. This Phalanx Leader might not do anything this game. Horizon Scholar, that is a giant beating. Additionally, what we can do, next turn play a Phar's Warden. What that does is it allows us to tap down one of his other guys so we can bash through these, and there's a small chance he ends up just killing the Warden with his Triton so that doesn't happen, to tap something else down. In which case then that opens up our Phalanx Leader to get through, so that's something we want to definitely keep in mind here. Okay, that's not bad. I think the play is attack with both, tap this, play Warden this turn. It just presents the most pressure for the following turn. What do you do with these? Bottom, top. So presumably he has something good on top. Alright, so he's at 8. Play our guy. And then we can really start pressuring him soon. Alright, that is unfortunate. The good news is here... Oh, interesting. He's being very aggressive. Seems kind of suicidal on his part. He must have like a bounce spell or something. Maybe I just play Phalanx Leader to go into Band Elder this turn. Because if I do that, it forces him to kill off my guy, and then I can start getting through with like ordealed up things. So let's just attack for 3 and see what happens. Alright. So that worked. Yeah, I think Laguna Band Elder is going to be good here. Just gains this little life. And I think exposing the Phalanx Leader is fine. He's probably just going to have to kill it on his turn, because if he lets us untap, we present a huge clock. And if he does kill this, then we can still pressure him with our other creatures. So it's not really that big a deal. Sure, I'll probably... do I even want to tap that down? Not really. He can attack for 2 if he wants. Attack with both. Wow. Maybe he has Anger of the Gods? If he has Anger of the Gods, well, I guess blocking doesn't actually do anything. Because I could block here, and he still just shoots this and then angers it. That would suck. But then we're at 11, and this is a 3-turn clock rather than a 4-turn clock if we're at 13. I think it's worth it if I block here and he does have anger, because it's really the only card we can lose to based on this attack. And it just gives us an extra turn here. So if he shoots this, yeah, I feel like we're about to get angered, which is just ridiculous. Wow, so that sucks. But what can you do? We'll just pass. Hopefully we win at 1 life and everything goes according to plan. Because right now we'd be at 7 rather than 9, and that obviously changes the game quite a bit. Alright, perfect. So if we were at 7, this would just completely suck instead of mostly suck. Because now we can attack. He has to think about whether he's just going to die to a combat trick or not. So he just takes it. And then... I mean, this game was... we were in a tough spot the whole time. I don't know what we could have done differently. Maybe I could have held back the leader. I don't think that was good, though. Because we were just constrained on mana. So really, the only card that wrecks this is Anger. Oh, he's just going to hold back. Interesting. Well, in that case, we're not going to do anything. We're just going to pass. Yep, I like passing here. If he draws a creature, he's probably going to smack with both. Fate Foretold, sure. So I think it was interesting that, like, when he attacks us with this creature and with the flyer, it just narrows the range of possibilities on his hand so much. So, like, it's really weird to think around playing specific rares. Oh, well, we're just dead. Alright, so we lose that one. That's a pretty crazy game. But Anger's, like, really good against us, too, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. Hopefully he doesn't draw it. I don't know. The Chosen by Heliod's could be good. We really don't need sideboards either, which is unfortunate. But Forest Warden seemed good against him. Yeah, everything here seems fine. I mean, we could play these Sandals. I don't think they're great, though, against him. Yeah, I think we just want to play and smash. But yeah, I guess my point about his attacks, you know, think about what your opponent is doing. Why would they make that attack? And then make the appropriate play. Because normally my 3-2 block on his 2-3 is just terrible. Because we're really pressuring him. But he only makes that attack if he has something just absurd, you know, like he did. So it's just something to keep in mind. Also, it's just really, it was a pretty sick rip because if you think about it, we know for sure he didn't have Anger because the turn before he Rage or Porphyros my Heliod's Emissary. So there, it's even harder to detect his play. But if you're really trying to pay attention, kind of just the point, keep in mind what your opponent's doing. Alright, so this hand is not the best ever, but it's pretty darn good. Hopefully we can just go to town with these Wingsteed Riders. He multi 5, obviously that helps our chances, but a deck with Anger, it's a pretty good deck to multiply with retrospectively, because you can still dig yourself out of that hole. Alright. We really didn't see much bounce out of him. So I think we're probably just going to want to Wingsteed Rider and just make it into a 5-5 because he really only showed us Rage of Porphyroses as his removal and Anger. So if we can get to 5 toughness, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Alright, especially if he's playing Opaline Unicorn. means he probably... Like, here I'd want to normally just play Hopeful Idol on my guy, but it only makes it 4 toughness, and so he's just going to Rage of Porphos our guy. So I think it's just better get him out of the range of that. Out of the range of the rage. And attack for 5. It also kind of looks like we have God's Willing up, which, something that's not bad. Although, God's Willing is one of those cards that's so frustrating. You really just can't do anything about it. You're like, oh, well, he's God's Willing, I lose. So our opponent really wouldn't play around that normally anyways. So he's going to try to attack. Probably not going to work in the long run because we have 1,000,000 damages coming his way. Alright, fine. Wow, that is pretty insane. I think I'm just going to close the game right here. Because if he does end up dealing with this, I'd rather have gained 1,000,000 life. And that's exactly what this is going to do. A 1,000,000 life gained. He could block an additional creature with his Opaline Unicorn. Here. I don't think that's going to be relevant, though. Cool. So if he scries to the top, we're in pretty big trouble. Means he probably hits a bounce spell. I think our backup plan here is Griffin with All-Seed and Spear. That should be big enough to take down the game. Because we'll have gained enough life to keep applying pressure. So bottom top. So either he kept something that's not going to help him win the game, which seems terrible, or it's a bounce spell. He might have kept something like Titan Strength, just because he's like, well, this can dig me out of the situation. He can kill my guy. So we should keep that in mind. So this turn, if I attack, he might just go to 1. But I think that's reasonable, because I'd rather have my guy in play. Yeah, I thought he was going to jump anyways, so that's good for us. Now we just play this. And now we just have multiple threats that he has to deal with. Okay. Maybe that was his plan? Ah, I see. So he just wants to draw many cards, I guess. Wow. Okay. So we're actually like incentivized to not attack here. Because that's just going to kill us. So I think it's, well, I don't know. Maybe that's not true. If I attack here and he draws 3 cards, how bad is that for us? He could draw multiple bounce spells, which would suck. But I could just play Heliod's Emissary this turn and pass. I think that's fine. Because then we just tap his flyer next turn, and that should close the game out. Well, now we're kind of exposed to anger, so that also kind of sucks. But if he does anger, then I think we just crash twice and hope he doesn't draw a bounce spell. Like, it's not even that bad for us. Oh, well, he had the bounce spell. Interesting. So, what are we going to do next? This guy's deck's very good. Although, I don't know about this Triple Fate Foretold. Just like in the deck as a general. Unless he's a heroic deck and we just haven't seen it. Looks like a big creature deck. I think I want to just slam this on Heliod's Emissary to protect it. And then attack with my team. This way, he can't just Rage or Porphyros my guy next turn. And it puts him to 5, which is good, because it's exactly what we need to do with Griffin. And he has Jump Block this turn. It's not irrelevant. Unless he has like a Titan Strength, in which case, okay. So we didn't get double blocked. It's good. I still like our spot here. Just to have even more things. This is a very good Mold of 5, by the way. It's insane. It's putting up quite the defense. I think blue-red control-ish has to be like these heroic decks' worst matchup. They have so much bounce. They really can just kind of put the stops on you. And you can't really get the ball rolling quite as much. I guess Fate Foretold's very good with Triton. Oh, why is he not just going to kill my Griffin right now? Oh, I guess he dies if he does that. Okay. I see it now. Now we can't pump, but that's fine. What we can do is attack. And then I think we just play Winged Streetrider again. And there's a small argument to not playing the Rider. Okay, so he's gonna do that. What's he trying to do? Just let it die? Yeah, okay. That was his only play. Okay, so if I play Winged Streetrider and he tries to quote-unquote wrath us, and this dies, and what else could he do? And it still seems better. This way he can't have 2 blockers. And his last 2 cards, or 3 cards, have to be Anger of the Gods plus another removal spell to get rid of everything here. And then we still have we still have a 2/2. And so that's fine. Alright, so luckily it all worked out in the end. If we have enough pressure, he's dead. That's crazy. A lot of good cards there. Alright, so we won that one. So yeah, like, when I was considering this is even worse. Just literally everything flies. Although I guess we could block because of that. Seems like it's going to be a tough matchup. Far's Warden would have been less good that game, but still fine. I don't think I can bring anything in. Yeah, probably just... Hopefully this gets their game 3. We haven't really seen much early removal, so I haven't really ever just landed an early creature and put an Ordeal on it yet. So hopefully that just happens game 3, and we can go on to the finals from there. It's almost like that's what I wanted to see. So I think either we win or we just like lose at the beginning of the game. We'll just find out. And I'm pretty sure I'm just going to jam this Ordeal into his open mana next turn. Yeah, there's nothing else I can really do. So, here we go. Does he have it? A null. Okay. That's fine. We still get our counter for our Chronicler, so that's totally okay. And that seems like it was a pretty good sideboard card for him. He saw a lot. Thanks for that. At least we didn't get totally blown out, and we're still beating all his creatures, which is pretty sweet. So just attack. And draw a card. This is going to be fantastic. Cycling Centaurs. Too many forests. I mean, it's part of the danger of running 10-7, but I guess sometimes you just draw too many forests. Card's kind of a problem. I think what I want to do... If I get Phalanx Leader down, then I still don't have mana for Chosen by Heliod. So maybe it makes more sense to just Chosen this and attack. And then it becomes a 3/6. Yeah, that seems good. And then we can just Voyaging Satyr. Especially because we get the cantrip here. He doesn't have open mana. And now I can just attack for 3, I think. Play this guy. He's not great, but he'll do. I think this is going to be a close one. It really just depends. If you just keep slamming Horizon Scholar soon, that could be a problem. But other than that, I think we're doing okay. So this turn, kind of like attacking with both of these. Because then we can follow up with this and Wing Street Rider. Let's play my land. Attack with these. It just looks like we have a million tricks, so we can't really block. I wish we had more tricks, but can't have them all. If he is under pressure, maybe he just blocks here. There's a small argument to just playing Courser Courser this turn and passing. Okay, so he just takes it. Oh, he's going Griptide. That sucks. So now I have to draw just the shittiest creature. Sucks, but what are you going to do? I think we just have to run into the anger, because we're not going to pressure him otherwise. And, I mean, if he has Horizon Scholar, it's also bad. Yeah. Man. This is very unfortunate. The good news is, if we ever draw a spell, we can play Phalanx Leader and just pump our entire army, and then he's just going to die. So we're going to lose a turn here. But I think that's okay. And if he becomes aggressive with the Scholar, then that happens. He can't really become aggressive, though. We have flyers. If he plays another Scholar, we're in pretty big trouble. And what do? He topped. Obviously, that's not good for us. Yeah, so apparently it just has infinity of these. But hopefully we'll just get lucky and we can draw one of our outs, because we're dying very fast. And top again, so this sucks. Yes, that was a single card I wanted to see. So I think we just... What happens if we play this and smash with everything? Then he might block here. And block here and here. He doesn't go anywhere near to dying this turn. 4, 8... Well, he can't really kill us next turn, so we get another swing back. So if that's the case, I think we want Favored Hoplite in play. Yeah, I think so. I think swinging everything's okay. He gets to eat one guy, but then we get to eat something of his, and we have all these creatures in play with a ton of power. Not to mention if he blocks a 3/3. Yeah, I think this is fine. Just applies a lot of pressure. Okay, so he does that. Yeah, that makes the most sense. But we still get attack. We hit for 4. We get to eat his one guy. So he only has these guys. Maybe I should not have attacked with the Winged Steed. I don't know. Maybe that was a bad attack. Actually, yeah, that was probably just terrible. But it's alright. We put him to 6, so we did force through a lot of damage. We're gonna have 4 guys. It's good. I mean, it could have been better. Yeah, if I had just attacked with the other 2, then we get to trade with Rising Skull and we still have Winged Steed Rider. I wonder if you just have multiple Fate Foretells on top. Wow. Ooh, that is insane against us. Yeah, we sacked out. That is ridiculous. So if I just put this on here, then if he double blocks one of these guys to kill it, then if 2 creatures get through, it's lethal, right? So he actually has to block with all 3 of his guys. So he probably blocks... Yeah, I mean, we probably just can't lose. Got incredibly lucky. And we can't even get attacked back. So... This is probably where he complains in the chat. I mean, yeah. We didn't get punished. Well, I don't think we would have won this game even if we had a Winged Steed Rider, but it was a bad attack. We should have made that attack, held it back, because it really was just a chump attack for no reason. I guess he blocks here, or I guess blocks here goes to 3. And now we still have 3 attackers next turn. Yeah, it seems very good. Alright, hopefully he doesn't kill us. I don't know how he would, but I guess if he, like, Rage or Porphyros this, then he wouldn't die. But it's not that disconcerting. This is like the opposite of match 1. Match 1 was like easiest match of all time, and this is like hardest match of all time. This guy's deck was just very good. think he's deciding, do we scoop? That is the question. The answer was apparently yes. So, okay, so round 3 is about to start. Alright, so round 3 here, and here we go. These forests are really biting me in the butt. But I still think the 10-7 mana base was right. And it's not great. But we're keeping. Hopefully draw a Heroic Enabler in the first few turns, and we can put a Hopeful Eidolon on it. If we draw an Ordeal, we just play the Eidolon. Otherwise, we just play Herod's Emissary and put Hopeful Eidolon, and we can hope that that's enough. Great. So, the mirror. This could be tough. I mean, our hand is complete garbage. Luckily, the last guy had all the Fate Foretold. So there is at least that. Alright. Cast this. We've decided if we want to put a Eidolon on this or this. It's probably going to be the Griffin, honestly. Just because it's in the air. And it also can become like a 6-power guy once Eidolon's on it, which is probably pretty good for racing. This guy is going off. So the question is, do we attack here? I think it's a good question to ask, because he wanted to play this guy. He's probably just going to pump with the leader. Do we want to trade Emissary for one of his guys? And if we're going to do, if I attack for 3, then I get him 17, then 14, and then this is going to be probably 4, 4, 6, something like that. If I play this and then this, I don't know that trading is necessarily good with one of his creatures, my Emissary. But it is currently holding down the fort. And it's not the absolute worst to trade with one of these guys. Okay. I think I'm just going to play Griffin and pass. Because I don't think the Emissary necessarily really changes our clock all that much. And if he does attack and has like something like Divine Verdict, then that's alright. If he has a pump spell like on one of these ones, at least he didn't pump his whole team. So there's that as well. We really can't block the leader, because we'll just die. But we can block, I would say, the Fortune Hunter. Because, okay, so he's not going to do that. I mean, if that's the case, I'm pretty happy just attacking for 3 here. He probably has Divine Verdict. But that protects our future play. Okay. So we're going to do nothing, and he can kill our guy if he wants. We have backups. Sure. Alright, so we've gotten the first Divine Verdict out of the way, and hopefully that's all he has, because I'm not quite sure how to beat a second Divine Verdict. That sucks. Yeah, I mean, probably just going to lose to his army. I think we just take it. There's really no reason to block here and lose our emissary, which we can just do next turn anyways when his guys are bigger. Yeah, this is very bad. Take 13, go to 6. That was good. If only because we can maybe double block something. I think we just bestow this. I think going for a double block is much better than trying to race, because it's not actually going to speed our clock up that much. Hopefully draw some like Observant All-Seed and can smash in and block and things like that. Might not matter though. Oh, speaking of which. So any two of his creatures are lethal. That is awful for us. Alright, we'll block. This deck might just be a better version of ours. And that's all she wrote. Our hand was very clunky. At least we get to bring in our sideboard card that we picked early. It's awesome. What is bad against this guy? Probably just need like one less creature. Snarecaster could be bad. Well, this is not the worst. I think maybe this is the worst creature. Or maybe the Warden. I think it's the 3-drop. I'd rather have the flexibility here. And we have a lot of 3s. This card can be pretty ridiculous. Glad we have one. Yeah, still in the camp for Ordeal Smash. We haven't ever pulled that off, except for the one time where it almost worked. Maybe we won't have to mull a 2-4 hand this time, which seems like every hand we ever draw. But that's also why I've seen a lot of the white-red decks, and the key card in that deck happens to be the Cerberus, that 1/2 double strike. And everyone's trying to cast these Wingsteed Riders and Cerberuses, and the mana is just awful. And you really want to be playing like 16 lands because you're just curving out. But you can't because your mana is so bad. So you have to play like 17 or 18 just for color fixing. So you have extra mountains and plains, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of white-red. So I think what I need to do is just say that I want to cast an Ordeal on a guy turn 2 every time, because every time I say that, we happen to draw that hand. So hopefully this cleans up shop pretty quickly. Crazier things have happened. So attacking for 3 on turn 2 I hear is good. Basic constructed playable. Here's where we probably just get Voyages ended out of the game. So we would like 2 planes. And we didn't get Voyages ended, so I think this one's probably going to be pretty tough to lose. Wow. So that's also insane. And I probably put this on this, because just gaining 10 is worse than making a bigger creature, but he conceded. So neither of those games was what you would call close. That was ridiculous. So we should just do the same thing again, although obviously it's a lot worse on the draw, but we'll take it. I find that this format is kind of weird, just in the sense that my opponent just swooped on turn 3, and then there's these games that you're building these colossal threats, and it's just like completely different. Heat Mold, our hand's not great, but I think we have the key components like the God's Willing and the Ordeal to kind of keep us in it, so we just need to draw anything. So I'm going to keep. I guess this qualifies as something. We'll lose to a super fast start, but hopefully we can just jump back in it. I was hoping to draw a 2 or 3 drop by now, or even just an Eidolon would have been good. But okay, so he's all in on Vaporkins. That's not a bad one. I think we'll just land the Warden, and then the Griffin, and then go to town. Because I think gaining 10 is going to be just absolutely huge this game. Then again, if I just play... Yeah, it's got to be the Warden. If I go... It's a tough spot to be in. If I go Emissary, and then Griffin. If I just play Emissary and block, how bad is that for us? We're going to 8 here. Tap a guy. This is really not an easy turn. How good is a Warden play, though? Probably pretty good. Painful. Yeah, we just drew our cards in the wrong order. Maybe that was a mulligan. But it seemed like we had some gas. If only this was a 1-3. That can't be good for us. So we're dead to pretty much everything. Is there any way I can trigger ordeal, gain 1,000,000 life, and win? Not really. But if I tap out for Tess and Griffin, that really doesn't help us either. So maybe I just go for Emissary. Emissary doesn't do a whole lot, though. I guess if I go Griffin... Emissary at least holds off this, though, so it's really the same thing at this point. And I can hold up God's Willing. I think I upkeep, tap his guy. If he has the pump spell, we lose. Oh, okay, good. So he probably doesn't have any tricks. So at least that's very good. And then if we draw a land next turn, we can play Griffin, God's Willing. And then we're at 2. Or if I just draw Eidolon, that could also be good. Does he have another creature? Hopefully not. That is another creature. It's very bad for us. So I'll have 3 creatures to his 5 attackers. That doesn't do it. I can't gain 10 this turn. I don't actually know what I should do here. I don't think I can possibly do anything, but maybe he can screw up. So what can I convince him of that I have? Maybe just play it. That doesn't even do anything, though. Yeah. I guess I could just Griffin and hope he forgets to attack or something. Basically my only chance. Thinking he's going to figure it out. But you never know. Tap his guy. Kapowza. Like I even tapped the wrong one. I should have tapped this one. But when the game's over, it doesn't quite matter as much. Alright. Well, it's been fun, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.